What's up, guys? My name is Kumo, and I've been playing a lot of Stadium lately and really enjoying Cassidy, and I wanted to make a quick video on what I thought was the best DPS, raw focus DPS build. I think its most important perk you always want to start with every round is Full House. For each ammo available, Peacekeeper's primary fire gains 1% of increased damage, up to 25%. Essentially, what this perk means is the higher our max ammo, the higher our DPS is. This perk doesn't make too big of a difference with how much damage Cass does over the course of a round. What it does is it makes sure that we stay consistent with the scaling of everybody else's DPS as the round goes on. Just this couple of extra percentage that you get from your increased magazine is going to make sure that you're not really falling behind in the scaling of other people. We're really going to get our max DPS when it comes to our items over here. But you always want to make sure that you're getting Full House first, followed by Dead Man Walking in round 3. After that, I think the next perk that you want to go with is either going to be Just Roll with it. During combat roll, prevent all incoming damages. After combat roll ends, heal 30% of your life over 3 seconds. Or Barrel Roll. I feel like they both essentially do the same thing while complementing somewhat separate playstyles. So whichever one you vibe with more, I vibe with Just Roll with it more because it helps me with sustain against Genjis, against a Diving Diva, things like that. And then the last perk definitely doesn't matter. I win all of my games before the last perk at all. But if I'm going to use anything, sometimes I use Sunrise. Using Deadeye slows all visible enemies by 35%. It's a little fun. Sometimes I use Hot Potato. It does give you increased magazine size sometimes when you get the jump on people. So I would say Hot Potato is the most applicable, but most of other McCree's perks are pretty, or Cassidy's perks are pretty solid, but not game changing. These are the order in which the perks you need to unlock them. This is the only order that you ever need to go with. Round 1, Full House. Round 2, Dead Man Walking. And I didn't explain what Dead Man Walking was. Dead Man Walking, eliminating an enemy you've recently critically hit, grants 1 max ammo for the round. So the perk is a little bit bugged. You have to kill somebody that you've recently critical hit. So if you shoot somebody once in the balls and then shoot them once in the head and you kill them with the headshot, well, you didn't recently critically hit them. So that doesn't count as adding your 1 max ammo. You have to critically hit once and then kill them with a different shot. But you don't have to kill them with a crit. You can kill them with a shot to the body if you so desire. I find this perk to be absolutely overpowered. Sometimes I will look at my magazine after a fight and have 13 bullets, 15 bullets, and I don't know how they got there. This perk scales Cassidy past the other DPS so much better than any other perk. If you are good at hitting headshots and if you prioritize items that maximize your ammo capacity, you are going to be doing a lot of damage. In tandem with your flashbang, you are going to be doing a shitload of critical hit damage. I think the best perks for Cassidy by far are going to be the Closer. The Closer critical hit reveals a target for 3 seconds, but the big key difference maker here is it adds 20% weapon power to our Peacekeeper over the course of all bullets over the course of the entire round, and 10% extra critical damage on your headshots. This is the most important perk. You can get whatever perks you want until you have enough money to buy this perk. This is the most important perk. I actually think the second most important perk to Cassidy, the last video that I made, I said it was Eye of the Spider. If you can afford Eye of the Spider, if you are popping off, then buy Eye of the Spider. But I actually think that the order in which you want to buy your upgrades is going the Closer into Codebreaker. Codebreaker is a massively underrated perk. It adds 15% weapon power to the Peacekeeper and ignores 50% of armor damage reduction. So if you're fighting a Diva, a Reinhardt, an Orisa, those 3 tanks are going to absolutely explode when you shoot them with this perk. Any other tanks, maybe you want to prioritize Commander's Clip, or maybe you want to prioritize Eye of the Spider. But generally speaking, after you get the Closer, your only thought process of Cassidy is, who are the tanks? If it's one of the tanks that I mentioned, you might want to get Codebreaker. If it's not one of the tanks that I mentioned, then Eye of the Spider or Commander's Clip are the only things that you need to focus on. The best possible build for Cassidy is these 3 perks right here that maximize his DPS output and then some perks that also give him some extra ammo as well. Maybe something like this. $43,000 isn't the craziest build that I've ever seen. You can actually make that in a handful of rounds. So this is a build that you'll see a lot and is actually really, really, really effective. A couple other videos that I saw were some Cassidy players using the barrel roll abilities, a couple Cassidy players min-maxing their flashbang. I will explore some of those builds a little bit, but as I'm ranking up and as I've been playing a lot of Cassidy and I made it to Elite recently, I think that this maximizing of the DPS category is where it's at. His Peacekeeper is incredibly powerful, and you're always going to be getting the most value out of his right click. And hitting people in the head has never been more valuable. If you can get a headshot and kill the dude that you headshot, you're scaling yourself and making yourself stronger by making your bullets do more damage every time you get a kill with a headshot because you're adding more bullets to your clip. It's incredibly potent, it's incredibly powerful, and I'm loving Cassidy a lot. I'll upload some gameplay really soon. I'm kind of waiting until I reach my peak of Cassidy in this game mode, but I've been having a blast, and I made a pretty bad video yesterday talking about what the best build was. That is not the best build. You guys need to unlock the powers in the order I show them, and then prioritize the items that I talked about. As long as you do that, you will be doing really, really, really well. A lot of the other builds are to complement not being able to do what Cassidy does best. Cassidy is the type of hero that you want to be playing if you can hit those headshots and you know that when you get up close and personal, you're going to be hitting those shots. Because that's where you're getting the most value out of Cassidy. He's not really a utility hero. His role isn't doing a lot for the team, and his flashbang is doing only this amount for the team. So I know there are a couple other builds that you can do for him to min-max a couple other aspects of his kit, but ultimately I feel like those are null and void to what his true bread and butter is, which is the right click. You want to be maximizing how much damage you're doing with that right click, and with absolutely deadly perks like the Closer, Eye of the Spider, and Codebreaker, you're doing an extra 60% damage for each Peacekeeper shot on top of how much higher your magazine clip is. You're getting an extra 1% for each bullet in the magazine clip. So if you have a 15 bullet magazine clip, which is not crazy to get, guys, you're doing an extra 15% on top of the 60%. Guys, now your Cassidy is doing double damage. You're doing essentially 225 damage in one headshot. You're one-shotting squishies. And it's incredibly potent, it's incredibly powerful. A lot of these squishies are going to be bolstering their defenses though, which is why we invest in Full House early. It's the most important, it's the crux of Cassidy's build. It allows every other item you buy to be putting yourself over the competition. Full House is what allows him to keep up with the scaling. My cats are going crazy in the background. So yeah, try out this build, let me know what you think, let me know if it helps you win any matches, and thank you for watching the video.